More than 40,000 people in Uganda will now have clean water, and it all began with the quiet, faithful act of Caitlin Boyda, a teenage girl from Lethbridge, Alberta. In the summer of 2009, 16-year-old Caitlin, the youngest of four, became ill and instinctively knew that it was more than just the flu. When the diagnosis came that she had a terminal cancerous brain tumor, there were few words to describe the impact of the news.
Oh, it's terrifying, you know. As a parent, you never imagine that this will be part of raising your children.
When I first got diagnosed, why me was the first thing that went into my head, and second was graduating. But I'm officially graduated now, so that's exciting. Yeah, you don't really, I didn't want it. So, yeah, to face it.
Over the past year and a half since receiving that news, Caitlin has undergone several surgeries and continues to have chemotherapy with measured results. Through all the ups and downs, Brenda has seen the family finding comfort and strength in each other.
Well, I always said I knew my kids were close, but the level of closeness that they have with each other is amazing, and I'm so thankful. The older three would drop anything the minute that they thought Caitlin might need them. And
Olivia, Caitlin's sister, is in Bible college, but is studying from home this year to be close to her sister.
I love Caitlin. Like, yeah, and I love my family, and I get a lot of comments that I'm putting my life on hold, and I don't see that way at all. I mean, I would be really missing out if I wasn't here learning from her, and I came home for her, but also for me too. It's just great to be close to her during this time. Yeah.
I see more meaning in people through everything. I see how even like my actions affect how other people act. So it's important to keep a level-headed, but just be there for them also. Because even though I'm sick, it's not about me all the time. So I never want it to be. It's more fun, for sure. Just to have that relationship with them.
Despite the difficult season the family is currently in, Brenda feels that faith in God is the glue that keeps the family together.
we just know that as a family of faith, we just trust that God has His hand in our lives. And even when it gets difficult, that's the times at night when you wake up and you can't sleep and you just spend those hours pleading with God to protect your child and have His hand on your child. And you want her to be healthy and whole, but you also want them to also come through this journey as best as God can have them be also.
A year ago, the Children's Wish Foundation contacted Caitlin to tell her that as someone facing a terminal illness, she was eligible for a wish. An opportunity to go on a special vacation with her family or do something special for herself, like purchase new camera equipment or remodel her room.
All along, Caitlin didn't feel comfortable with the idea of getting a wish because she felt like it would be a lot of money spent on her for a small amount of time. So just this past December, we kind of talked about it, and she came up with the idea that she wanted to do something for other people. So the idea that we originally pitched to Children's Wish was that Caitlin's wish could be used to help an African village, and we said whether it be, you know, food, water, education, anything that this village needs through compassion.
The Boydas contacted Compassion Canada, a Christian organization that works with developing countries around the world to help eliminate the root causes of poverty and bring the message of Jesus. They found a suitable water project for Caitlin's wish. When the Children's Wish Foundation came to the Boydas on December 30th to grant her wish with a $7,500 check, they were visibly touched by Caitlin's decision.
Jason Evanson from Children's Wish said that night they came and gave her wish that, well, Children's Wish was granting Caitlin's wish. Caitlin was granting the wish of 300 other children in Uganda.
This well in Uganda was one of 21 water projects, each costing $9,600. The Boydas decided to fundraise for the additional $2,000 needed to complete the well, and as the word got out, a groundswell of support started pouring in, from youth-sponsored bottle drives to generous personal cash donations. The decision was made to raise money for the entire 21 water projects in Caitlin's name. John Vort of Compassion Canada oversaw the project in Lethbridge.
But it's for 21 different compassion sponsorship programs, so it's affecting between 250 and 300 children per project. It's affecting the church that's connected with the project. It's connected obviously to the family of the children in the project, and it's connected to the village that is a part of the project. So these 21 projects, when they're all completed, will affect more than 40,000 people in Uganda.
Compassion Canada was overwhelmed by the immediate response to the Caitlin's Wish project. But John says that the reason for being able to raise over $200,000 for the 21 projects in 6 weeks was pretty simple.
Selflessness, absolutely an amazing gesture to offer this as her wish instead of something that she could have done for herself. That's what I hear over and over again.
Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?
Through this past year and a half, Caitlin has found comfort and perspective by spending time in God's Word.
Job is actually one of my favorite books of the Bible, just because he lost everything and just never said anything bad about God at all, and was faithful to him. And that is really encouraging. Like, it's always been my favorite book even before I got sick. So yeah, and just scripture, it gives perspective on life.
Ian Lawson, lead pastor of Caitlin's home church in Lethbridge, says that her positive attitude, even in the midst of suffering, is anything but the norm.
It seems to me that in our culture, this North American affluent culture, that we have the notion that suffering should not be a part of our experience, that we should live well and for a long time and have lots of money. But I think Caitlin's testimony in her life is illustration of the reality that that's not what we're to look for.
Everyone always thinks in order to change the world, you have to be someone who stands out in a crowd, or, you know, to be the best in school, to be the one who wins all the races, all those things in order to make a difference in the world. And for me, Caitlin is making a difference in over 40,000 people's lives just by being obedient to God. And you always pray that your kids will grow up and serve God and follow Him and have a heart for Him. And you just see that in her life. You know, she has chosen to follow God rather than fulfill a desire of her own. So.
But the people of Uganda aren't the only ones touched by Caitlin's kindness. Lawson says that her actions have had a widening impact in the church and beyond.
She's very quiet-natured, but at the same time she has a resilience and a profound nature to her faith that's permeated many, many lives and homes within our church family. Caitlin is a picture of true godly humility. She's not thinking about herself, but she's thinking about others.
I think it's just living life with purpose. So often we go throughout our lives and we just don't have that purpose, eh? And Caitlin's wish has given people purpose.
Even though I want to not be sick and I do not want to be going through all this, if I wasn't sick, I wouldn't have gotten this wish, and so many kids wouldn't have benefited from what I've done. I haven't even done it. It's people's generosity, and it's a humbling experience, all of this.
We'll never know the impact of all the lives that she has had, because only at the end of the day God knows whose heart or whose lives being impacted really. But if it causes some teenagers to think that maybe they can do something beyond what they ever imagined, you know, and to be part of this world in a bigger picture and part of God's kingdom in a bigger picture, then really that's ultimately, clean water is the benefit, but ultimately pointing people to Jesus is the real goal.
Like, we're only on earth for so long, and we need to make an effort for other people. My boyfriend always says, it's like we take a picture and when we're on earth, and at the end of the day, what do you want that picture to look like?
In Lethbridge, Natalie Faith, 100 Huntley Street.